Have you heard about OpenAI's new swarm concept?
Hmm.
It's generating a ton of buzz.
Yeah.
And for a good reason. It might feel strangely familiar.
Yeah.
That's because, believe it or not, you might already be ahead of the curve
Yeah.
without even knowing it.
Right.
Let's dive in.
Yeah, let's do it.
Swarm.
You're nodding.
I am. I mean, Swarm, as OpenAI is presenting it, is generating a ton of buzz. And rightfully so. It's OpenAI. They do cool stuff. But,
Right. They're talking about it like it's revolutionary.
yeah, and it's not that it's not cool. It's just not that new.
Some might even argue that Chatbot Builder platform has been doing Swarm for a while now.
That's right, yeah. The basic concepts have been around. It's just that they've been maybe, kind of siloed away in
Yeah.
research papers and university labs. Okay, so let's break it down for those who are like, Swarm,
Yeah.
like question mark.
So in a nutshell, Swarm, at least as OpenAI is presenting it, it's about getting AIs to work together, like a team,
Okay.
each with its own kind of specialty. So imagine like, I don't know, a bunch of expert chefs, each specializing in a different cuisine, coming together to create like an amazing multi-course meal.
Ooh, I like that.
Right. So you got your pastry chef, you've got your saucier, you've got your grill master,
Okay.
and they're all working together in this like beautiful synchronized way.
Hmm.
That's kind of like what OpenAI is going for with Swarm.
Yeah.
You've got all these different AIs, each with their own strengths and weaknesses, and by getting them to work together, you can tackle like way more complex tasks than any one AI can handle on its own.
So why all the hype if this Swarm idea isn't completely brand new? Is it just the way that OpenAI is like marketing this?
I think that's a big part of it. I mean, OpenAI they're great at what they do, and they have a knack for grabbing headlines,
Right.
which is important, right? Getting people excited about AI. But it's also important to remember that, like I said, these concepts, they've been brewing for a while now. It's just that OpenAI has a way of, packaging them up in this really slick, exciting way.
Okay, so for our listeners who are thinking, wait a minute, you're saying that I'm already ahead of the curve? How is that even possible?
Mhm.
And CBB, it's a platform that's been quietly empowering users to build their own swarms for a while now.
That's right, yeah. And I think a lot of it is people are doing it without even realizing it, which is kind of the cool part.
Okay.
Like they're using these advanced AI techniques without necessarily needing to like dive into the nitty-gritty of the code.
It's like having the power of a symphony orchestra at your fingertips.
Exactly.
Without needing to be a
Yeah.
composer or a conductor.
Exactly. That's a great analogy.
Okay. So is this what Kim Gaskill is doing? Because she's someone who we've talked about before on the show.
Yeah.
Kim, the founder of EcoTek Social, is a self-proclaimed non-coder, right?
Yep.
And she's out there building sophisticated AI-powered chatbots.
She is, and she's very open about the fact that she finds code intimidating, but she loves the power of AI.
Okay, so she sees the value.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what's so exciting about these platforms is they're making it possible for people like Kim, who might not have that technical background, to still leverage these really powerful tools. Because it's not about, being a coding wizard anymore. It's about understanding what you want your AI to do.
So it's more about the strategy.
Exactly. It's about the strategy, the creativity, the problem solving.
Okay.
The code is just kind of the nuts and bolts behind the scenes.
So you're saying with Kim, she's not writing any code to be able to utilize these swarms.
Not necessarily, no. I mean, she might be doing some like light configuration, tweaking some settings here and there.
Okay.
All about making it as intuitive as possible.
And CBB, you'd say, really embodies that ease of use, that visual approach.
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the things that Ryan, the founder of CBB, really focused on, making it so that anyone, regardless of their technical skills, could build these really sophisticated AI systems.
It's like saying, how do you eat an elephant?
Right.
One bite at a time, right?
Exactly. And that's what CBB does. It kind of breaks down this potentially overwhelming task of building a multi-agent AI system into these manageable chunks. You don't have to do it all at once. You can start small, experiment, add more agents as you go. It's all about like building up your comfort level and confidence.
And speaking of Ryan and CBB, I kind of want to steer us towards how CBB is addressing this swarm concept. Because what really caught my eye? Ryan Baggett, the founder of CBB, had a rather interesting reaction to OpenAI's swarm announcement.
Oh, I bet it was a good one.
Yeah.
Ryan's never one to shy away from, speaking his mind, especially when it comes to advancements in the AI field.
Yeah.
What do you have to say?
Oh,
Yeah, tell me, tell me.
well, he basically said CBB users have been doing this all along. Like,
Yeah.
we've been on that.
Right.
He even went on to demonstrate how to build a multi-agent chatbot
Okay.
live
Cool.
without using CBB's Auto GPT feature. So, for our listeners who might not know, it can automate parts of the chatbot building process.
Mm-hmm.
But Ryan wanted to emphasize that CBB users
Right.
have a lot of control
It's not all
over their
Yeah,
creations.
it's all just happening under the hood.
Exactly. Exactly. It's
Yeah.
like the difference between driving an automatic car
Okay.
and a manual one.
Right.
With automatic, it's smooth and easy.
Yep.
But with manual, you feel more in control,
Right.
more connected to the process.
You're totally right. Yeah, yeah.
And in this case, that process starts with assigning clear roles to each AI agent.
Okay, so how do you do that?
Well, in his demonstration,
Yeah.
he started by creating a router bot.
Okay.
Okay, so imagine this router bot as the friendly receptionist
Right.
at a bustling company.
Got it.
When someone calls in,
Mm-hmm.
the receptionist directs them to the appropriate department
Right.
based on their needs.
Makes sense.
Like, oh, you want billing? Let me direct you over there.
Yep.
You need customer service.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Totally. So like a triage almost.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I like it.
And then he created specialized bots for different customer service inquiries, like handling refunds,
Lots of stuff.
cancellations,
Hmm.
and even providing flight information.
Got it.
And here's where it gets really impressive.
Okay.
He showed how you can even integrate external tools,
Oh, wow.
like a Google Sheet,
Okay.
to handle tasks like canceling a flight booking
Wow.
in real time.
That's awesome.
All of this orchestrated by simple natural language prompts from the user.
That's really cool. And that's, I think, that's a really important point you bring up is that, even though we're talking about like these multi-agent systems, which can sound kind of complex,
Right.
the way that the users interact with them,
Right.
it's still very natural. It's still very conversational.
It's very user-friendly,
Exactly.
which I think is important.
Oh, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, if it's not user-friendly, people aren't going to use it,
Right, exactly.
no matter how cool the technology is.
It really strikes me that this whole swarm concept
Yeah.
and what Ryan's doing with CBB
Mm-hmm.
really challenges the traditional notion of AI as this
Right,
mysterious black box
Yeah.
that only a select few can understand.
Right. Yeah.
And I feel like what we're seeing with these tools,
Yeah.
it's becoming clear that the future of AI is less about replacing humans
Mm.
and more about empowering them.
Yes. 100%.
With intuitive tools to achieve incredible things.
Absolutely. And this notion of empowerment is central to the concept of human-in-the-loop AI,
Okay.
which we're seeing more and more of these days.
So you're saying that while OpenAI's Swarm focuses on like AI to AI interaction?
Right. It's very much about the AIs talking to each other,
Okay.
which is cool. Don't get me wrong. That's awesome.
Right.
But I think the real magic happens when we bring humans into the equation.
It's interesting you mentioned that because
Why?
while these platforms make it easier for anyone to build with AI,
Mm.
there's still this fear, I think,
Right.
that AI is going to replace human jobs altogether.
Yeah.
And it sounds like what you're suggesting is that it's more about
Collaboration.
collaborating.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that humans and AI, we each have our own unique strengths,
Okay.
right? Like AI can process vast amounts of data.
Right.
It can automate repetitive tasks.
Mm-hmm.
It can even generate creative text formats like poems, codes, scripts, musical pieces, email, letters, like all sorts of crazy stuff.
Wow. Okay.
But
Yeah.
there are still areas where humans excel.
Okay.
Areas that require empathy,
Right.
critical thinking, and just like good old-fashioned common sense.
Okay.
You know,
Right.
Like we're not robots, at least not yet.
Not yet.
Right.
Okay. So then how do we find that like sweet spot?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right.
I think it's about finding that sweet spot where AI augments human capabilities,
Okay.
not replaces them entirely.
Okay. So like give me an example.
Okay, so imagine a world where doctors are using AI to like analyze medical images,
Okay.
right, with incredible accuracy,
Hmm.
which then frees them up to spend more time with their patients,
Okay.
actually like talking to them, building relationships, making those like really crucial judgment calls that require, human empathy. Or imagine architects using AI to generate like thousands of design variations based on certain constraints, right?
Yeah.
So they don't have to spend hours and hours, draft things up by hand.
Right.
The AI can kind of handle that initial, like, brainstorming ideation phase.
Okay.
And then the architect can come in and say, okay, these are the 10 designs that I really like.
May tweak this.
Let me tweak this. Let me add my own creative flair.
See, that's what gets me excited. These aren't just like futuristic fantasies.
Yeah.
They're real possibilities.
Absolutely. This is stuff that's happening right now.
And for our listeners who are thinking, okay, that's all well and good, but what about me?
Right.
I'm not a doctor or an architect.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just,
I'm a florist.
yeah. I'm a barista. What's AI going to do for me?
Yes, exactly.
Right. And the answer is a lot.
This applies to you too.
It does. It really does.
So to bring it all back home,
Yeah.
our listeners might be wondering, what does this mean for me?
Right. Right.
We've talked about OpenAI's Swarm, CBB users building multi-agent systems, this exciting future of human-in-the-loop AI.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot to take in.
It is. It's a lot. But it's also, like, incredibly empowering, I think.
Okay.
Because think about it this way. Remember when, like, smartphones first came out?
Right.
It seemed like this, like, futuristic tech that only, like, a select few, like, understood.
Right.
And now, look around.
Everybody.
You're ubiquitous. We use them for everything.
Right.
AI's on a similar trajectory.
That's a great point. And just like with smartphones, you don't need to be a tech wizard to start using and benefiting from AI.
Exactly.
Yes.
And going back to CBB,
Yeah.
you don't need to be a coding expert to start building with AI.
Right, right.
Remember Kim Gaskill?
Yeah.
She was like, I don't necessarily need to understand everything that's been described with this swarm functionality. I just know that I've been using it for over a year with Chatbot Builder and have been able to create multiple agents working for the same business.
Wow.
She was ahead of the curve without even realizing it.
It's like she stumbled upon the future of work.
She really did.
Okay, so for our listeners who are feeling inspired, what would you say is the first step they can take?
Oh, man, just dive in.
Oh, Nate.
There are so many incredible resources available now.
Okay.
Platforms like CBB, they offer free trials. They have tutorials.
Right.
You can get hands-on experience without any risk. So, like, start experimenting, play around with the flow builder, see what you can create. You might be surprised by what you're capable of.
It's like learning a new language.
It is.
It totally is.
The best way to become fluent is to immerse yourself, make mistakes, have fun with it.
100%. And don't be afraid to, like, think outside the box.
Okay, yeah. Because the real magic of AI happens when we start applying it to, like, unconventional problems.
Okay.
And exploring its creative potential.
It's about pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible.
Yes.
And discovering new ways to collaborate with these incredible tools.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And the thing is, like, this is still such an early stage in the evolution of AI.
Right.
Like, who knows what amazing breakthroughs await us just around the corner.
So to wrap things up for our listeners,
Yeah.
if you're feeling even a little bit curious about multi-agent AI, this is your sign to dive in.
Yeah.
You might discover hidden talents, unlock new opportunities,
Totally.
and even find yourself ahead of the curve.
100%. It's like, it's an exciting time to be a learner in the age of AI.
It is.
And as we've explored today, like, with the right tools and a little bit of curiosity, anyone can become an innovator.
On that note, we'll leave you with this. The future of AI is closer than you think, and it's filled with possibilities. It's time to dive in and explore. Thanks for joining us on this incredible deep dive, and we'll see you next time.